Hello everyone, thanks for tuning into today's third and final video. We're going to have a look at the weather. It's 14 days for today's final video. Day 10 will take us to the 1st of August, so we'll be able to extend out beyond that with the GFS and ECM ensembles, maybe on track a couple of weeks. We'll have a look at the CFS V2 at the end of the video for the next 4 weeks. Gets us into second half of August. I shall get on that for you in a moment. Just say that first. The video sales are 6 AM UK weather forecast. I've also released a video having a look at the weather for Latitude Festival this weekend and Candle Calling next weekend. Check out those two vids if you'd like to do that. Like, share and subscribe on all of today's videos and content. And thank you so much everyone for doing that for GavsWeatherVids. Thank you so much everyone. Right, going to start off with centering temperature. The CT continues to gradually tick up. So we are now sitting at 15.6, that is 0.4 of a degree below the 61 to 1990 average, and it's provisional to yesterday, to the 21st of July. Will be very interesting to see where that ends up. These were GFS upper air temperature and precipitation ensembles for the next couple of weeks. We're looking at Exeter today, home of the UK Met. The red line is the 30-year upper air temperature average for Exeter. We're starting off a little bit above average at the moment. Then we're dropping down to be cooler tomorrow. Then we're ticking back up again around midweek, and then we drop again. Something rather zonal actually for the next week, very up and down with the upper air temperatures. We're going through to the very end of July and the beginning of August. We are seeing a few hot outlier members appearing now. So we've got one there going close to 20 degrees at 850 HPA, another one there, and another one there, and there is clearly a bit of a warming trend that's going on there. Even if most of the ensemble members don't go that hot, most of them are warming things up quite significantly through the opening days of August. So we may be shaping up for a hot spell. Maybe shaping up for a heat wave into the beginning of August, but it's a way off, so we're going to have to wait and see a few more days about that. Precipitation-wise, could be quite dry weather through much of this week, though there will be some wet weather coming up towards the last stage of the week, towards the end of the week. And then after that, relatively dry, actually. You know, it's not particularly wet ensemble that. Some showery bursts at times, but overall, not too much. Temperature anomalies from the 22nd to the 30th of July, just a little bit above average, not a big deviation. Precipitation anomalies from 22nd, 30th of July. Most areas coming out a bit drier than normal. The latest weather map from earthnullschool.net shows that we've got an area of low pressure in the Atlantic, just to the west of the island, and we bring in those westerly winds today. Right, let's start going through the chart data then. So this is how the latest UK Met Euro run is looking for midnight on Thursday. Top of low pressure out to the northwest. That brings showery conditions with it. And then those showery conditions push southwards and eastwards across the country as we go from Thursday into Friday there. That's a cold front, by the way, that's coming southeastward. So that will be lowering the temperature as well into the latter stages of the week. Behind that, well, rather showery into the weekend, and then the Azores high tries to start moving up from the southwest, bringing something drier and warmer into the south, but it will still be a little bit unsettled in the north. That doesn't really look like a heat wave, I have to say. You would suspect this low just here would just simply roll in over the top of the ridge from the Azores high and keep an Atlantic flow going. Right, let's go on to Icon anyway. So again, building up the ridge the southwest on Thursday, then a cold front coming southwards Thursday, which is Friday, bringing cooler showery conditions into the weekend. Starts rather cool and showery, but then high pressure making its move by the beginning of next week. That gets us to midday next Monday, dry and very warm in the south. Could be a little bit more unsettled though further north with that area of low pressure. Now, what is the KMA doing? Again, looking rather westerly into the weekend. Beginning of next week, the Azores high tries to ridge up, but still a bit too much energy in the Atlantic to get the Azores high into a hot position. So we end up looking like that by the 3rd of August. Pretty much where we are now, to be honest, with high pressure southwest, low pressure to the northwest, and still keeping that basic westerly scenario going. Then we got the GFS midnight run, all much of a muchness through the rest of this week and into the weekend. Early next week, the Azores high bridges up from southwest, being drier, warmer conditions there. Then a bit mixo further north, heading up towards day 10, while the south looking mostly dry and quite warm under that ridge. The north again, just a little bit more unsettled. And then on into the beginning of August, where we pull the wind back into the northwest, turning cooler and more showery. Then the very end of the GFS midnight run with high pressure to the south, low pressure rain to the northwest. Never really in a position, that high pressure, to produce anything hot, but for the south there is a lot of dry and warm, or at times even very warm weather on offer, by back to sort of mid upper 20s Celsius, possibly knocking to the 30-degree mark. So, you know, not bad for the next couple of weeks in the south. Really, lots of dry weather there. Always more showery and somewhat cooler further north. This time GFS 6Z looks, by comparison, once again quite mixed with the rest of this week and into the weekend as well. Next week sees high pressure reaching up from the southwest, bringing something drier and warmer northwards with it. That's the scenario at day 10. Dry, fine and warm in the south, a little bit more unsettled and showery further north. Then we go into extended range, looking rather mixed, with a trough of low pressure digging through the country. That brings showers and long spells of rain with it. We end up with GFS 6Z with low pressure meandering in from off the Atlantic, never really settling down, but there is some drier weather at times down in the south. If you enjoyed the video, please do like, share and subscribe. Thanks so much everyone for doing that. Drop a comment, let us know what you think about this and all of our videos and content, and don't forget to tell your friends about GavsWeatherVids. Get them to subscribe too. We're hovering around the 18.6k mark, a little bit under, a little bit above it at times, so if you could give us a sub, tell your friends and family to subscribe, get us definitively above 18,600 subscribers. That'd be absolutely incredible. Thanks so much everyone for doing that. GM once again with this trough out to the west, the Atlantic on Thursday, main drive out down the south. The weekend looking a bit mixed. We're under Carl. There could be some showers with that and some cooler temps as well. Next week, look at this. We start to build up higher pressure to the east. Turn wind into a southerly southeasterly. They're becoming much warmer, if not hotter, briefly early next week, but that generates a thundery low, which then starts coming in, bringing heavy showers, maybe thunder, and cooling the temperature back down again with the wind swinging back into the northwest. So just a very brief temporary warmer early next week with the gem, and then we quickly cool it back down. And then the ECM, look at this, high pressure to the southwest, low pressure to the northwest on Thursday. Looks a bit showery for Friday and into the weekend as well. But Sunday into Monday, high pressure strengthening over and to the east of the country, pulling in the wind from that southerly southeast direction. Very hot air is sitting over much of France, just to our south. And check this out, Thursday 30th of July, high pressures away to the east, and we drag up that southerly southeasterly. Look at the upper air temperatures. Yes, we've got plus 20 Celsius wafting its way up into southern and southeastern England. That's the first time we've seen it this summer, but there it is. We have actually got plus 25 Celsius into central and northern parts of France, so intensely hot across France. Do we pull up that even hotter air? Well, no, because then you get this fungi trough starting to develop from the Atlantic, and that pushes away. It's still hot, don't get me wrong. That pushes away the hottest of the air into eastern France, southwest of Germany, and the Low Countries. But we are flirting here with the ECM, with some very, very hot air. If we do get the plus 20 Celsius into the south in the beginning of next week, or at the beginning of next week, then we're probably looking at temperatures up to 35 degrees, 95 Fahrenheit. Again, I have to emphasise, though, this is just one run of the ECM that's going back, and you'll notice most of the other model output does not go as far or as extreme as that. So the ECM could be an outlier. In fact, we can have a quick look at the ECM ensemble, I think. We don't normally do that, but let's have a look at the ensemble graph from the ECM. So there you see it. Actually, it's not really an outlier. It is at the warmest end of the range. Going up to plus 20 at 850 HPA, just shy of it. But there's a lot of ensemble members going for that within the ECM ensembles. You know, a lot of them are lifting up to that level. The white line is the ensemble, meaning that is somewhat lower, but is lifting up quite a bit as well. So it looks like the last couple of days of July might bring the hottest spell of the summer so far, and get the temperature, we have flirted with about 31, 32 degrees, but that would get the temperature higher into like the mid-30s Celsius. I think if it came off would be dependent on sunshine amounts and whether we start generating thunderstorms, of course. Right, this is my precipitation forecast based on that ECM run from TibetShow.com. Looking at showery conditions through day and tonight, and then may ease off tomorrow. A lot of dry weather then through the rest of the week, but by the end of the week we start bringing wet weather back in from the Atlantic. That's particularly focused on England and Wales. Into the weekend, starts off a bit showery, then turning drier, and then we pull up that hot air from the south and we start flirting with thunderstorms. So all gets very interesting around days 8, 9 and 10. Now these are the options on the table within the ECM ensemble today for day 10 from the Icelandic Met Office. Gets us to the 1st of August. There's a lot of them, 12 members of the ECM ensembles with high pressure towards Scandinavia, low pressure is way towards Greenland, and that will drag the wind in that southerly southeast direction, turning hotter then with the ECM operational and those 12 ensemble members. We've got 10 just here with high pressure again towards Scandinavia, mainly dry, very warm, possibly quite hot. We've got 9 with high pressure just to the north, and could back bringing some cooler air from the northeast. We've got 8 with high pressure across the north and west of Europe, probably ought to dry, warm weather with that. 7 with high pressure over to the south, low pressures away to the north, winds coming in from more of a westerly direction, main dry but a little bit cooler with that. And then 5, a very minority option, looking much more unsettled, low pressure, bringing unsettled conditions in from off the Atlantic. In 2 weeks' time, these are the options that we've got. Gets us to the 6th of August. 30 members of the ECM ensembles with some sort of low pressure in the Atlantic. High pressure is towards Scandinavia. Again, that should be mainly dry, you would have thought, and potentially warm. And that's 30 during that, so a strong, a strong majority, big majority going for that. We've got 12 with low pressure to the north, high pressure to the south. That brings the driest, warmest weather into the south. And then we've got 9 with very unsettled conditions, low pressure right over top of UK and Ireland. So all of a sudden, it looks like we could be on course for, potentially a very warm sort of first week to August. But we're going to wait and see a bit longer. CFS V2 finally meets a 500 millibar high times breaking down into week periods. The first week period takes from the 22nd, 28th of July. But next week looks unsettled with low pressure to the north, high pressure to the south. And we continue to bring in those westerly winds. Now we go through the week 2, which will be the 29th of July to 4th of August. Again, high pressure is to the south, low pressure is to the north, and we continue to bring the wind in from off the Atlantic, a westerly direction. Week 3 will be the 5th to the 11th of August. High pressure then centred over Germany. That could drag up some very warm or hot air from the south. And then finally, oops, get rid of that. Hang on, there we go. Finally, week 4 is the 12th to the 18th of August, and this could be quite hot as well. High pressure over to the east and winds coming up from the south. Could we be on course for a hot August here? That'd be turn up of the books. I've got been a pretty mediocre summer. Well, the GavsWeatherVids summer forecast, you'll remember, did predict that August would be the best of summer. So let's wait and see. It's all speculation at the moment, and I don't think really we should be looking beyond sort of a turn of the month where we are flirting. You've noticed, no more than that, with a very hot spell of weather, potentially a heat spike or a heat wave, but a lot of water got to pass under the bridge before we get to that, so it's going to be an interesting few days of model watching, I think, and expect some twists and turns along the way. But whatever happens, we will keep you updated with it all at GavsWeatherVids. Right, we're done. If you've enjoyed the video, please can you like, share, and subscribe. Thanks so much, everyone, for doing that. Drop a comment. Let us know what you think about this and all of our videos and content. And don't forget to tell your friends about GavsWeather. GavsWeatherVids. Get them to subscribe to you. Thanks so much for doing that. Right, just tell us happening on chat tomorrow, 6 a.m. UK weather forecast. The extended European outlook and the beta 10 to 14 day as well. Keep checking back to the channel for more. But for this one, it's all for now, and thanks for watching.